radical around and do your final lap here. That was a radical slide, and I get my puns from Reed. So if anyone has a question, you may directly message him on the AMX Discord group. Across the line, Victor Miranda, 132.428. So Victor Miranda getting us into the 132.4s at the closing lights. Victor Miranda, a very, very good move there. As he goes over, he lets cars by, and look at him. Look at him there in your bottom left. He's very satisfied with that run that he just made. And now we're going to settle things back down. Diego Villarreal is very comfortable as well, making runs, trying to just stay out of the way of other drivers there. You see the SART driver going very wide and just letting people pass, trying to stay out of the way and trying to ramp things up for one final run. And I always love looking at Diego Villarreal's setup. He's got that monitor there. He's got his Logitech wheel just bolted down to his desk, and he is just cool, calm, and collected. I've never seen Diego Villarreal ever look stressed out during a qualifying session, and it's one of my favorite traits about Diego Villarreal. It's perfect. Ooh, little bit of wall contact there from all of the drivers coming through. I can't imagine that is what you want to do there in the Mobile One curve, but it's what they're doing. And Marco, we are 45 seconds to the end now.
Absolutely. Let me give a big shout out to Facundo Rago, who is racing with his tribute to the early 90s Nissan prototypes from Le Mans, the factory livery, as we just see him park across the track. As Diego Villarreal goes across the start finish line, will not improve, and I think that's going to be it for his qualifying. We are basically waiting for just a few drivers to arrive home for their final attempt. Only, well, basically 10 seconds left. Therefore, there is really not much time to improve. So this, unless we have a big surprise at the end, is going to be your final order from the quali session for AMX 0. And of course, we are going to reverse it in just a second.
Yeah, we set things up. We flip the top 15 around, and of course, it's kind of cool to say that's only half the grid that we're inverting, but now the drivers get to fight from wherever they're at all the way up to try to get P1 to do it again. So now we wait on a 31 car leaderboard to come up, and here we go. Looking all the way in the back with Vinicius Loyola, and look back up front because Victor Miranda is your BenQ session winner. And man, Victor Miranda, you need to get used to that because you've been up there quite a bit. 132.428 wins the $7. Gustavo Ariel, less than a tenth back. Corentin Gunez, P3, Jackson Resenje, Fabrizio Belziti will get your top 5. And then some big notables to point out. Pedro Mora in 10th place, and Lucas Sigmund sitting P15 right there, just under a second off of Victor Miranda. But with the inverted grid, we'll go all the way forward. Vera Vieira is unfortunately not going to be there. It's just right at P16, and we'll invert nowhere. And we'll start 16th where he qualified. Any other big names that you see here, Marco, that we need to keep our eyes on going into this heat?
Okay, we talked about the Tony Kanaan by Texaco Racing by Tony Kanaan drivers. I think we should keep an eye on this reverse grid on Fabio Zamperlini, in my opinion. Starts from a good position, he's faster than his qualifying time suggests, so want to watch for the race win. Here we go with the proper reverse grid. And so another driver I want to look at is Josh Berwin, looking good. Of course, we have the new driver Eren Gmushtal. He's starting in P7, but the big fight, I mean, from 12th to 15th, Kasenji, Ines, Ariel, and Miranda, they are going to battle it out, and they need to be careful because the first corner, especially when you're in the midfield, as they are basically tonight, with the reverse grid, can become quite chaotic. Not just in turn 1, but also in turn 2, and we talked about it at length in the opening at the airpin. So, get your QR code scan for the live timing if you missed it earlier, and we are rolling for this, basically 3-corner pace lap.
We have a Red Bull livery leading us around, and I've always been told that the Red Bull liveries are the most dangerous in iRacing, either because they're very fast or they're very scary. We'll see who can channel their inner Max Verstappen coming around the final couple of corners here. Lucas Sigmund in that number 13 Red Bull livery radical will take us green flag racing here into our heat one. And ooh, that was a little bit slow around, but now he's coming through onto the start finish straight, dead ahead, and sends it through as we're already going to bunch things up for an 8-lap heat one here. And again, inverted into heat two, we will go. And Lucas Sigmund just takes off, nothing. And there's some spins in the background. There's several drivers spinning, Marco, and we'll see how our drivers get through. I see several Texaco liveried cars off into the walls and around, and now we're coming back through. And look at this, Josh Berwine in P4 under a lot of pressure early on from Gumizdol and is trying to hold on. And there is Fabrizio Belziti dropping way back, and there's a spin. I believe that is Fabrizio Belziti that we see spinning back. And there's another car in the background spun. 31 cars started. How many drivers will survive this when it's all said and done? Check back in with the front of the field where they're going 3 wide here, 3 by 3 going through into the hairpin, and they're settling things out. They're holding on, but we're still, oh, there's somebody in the air flying, Marco. What was that?
Dorado with his beautiful Nissan livery. Unfortunately, it's already looking pretty medley. Oh, we have another big crash.
Oh, the drivers are trying to hold on as best they can. It is truly AMX is a survival. And there we go. There's the Red Bull driver of Lucas Sigmund. Oh! Straight into the wall there. And now everybody just settles in. It's survival mode here in AMX on this first lap. I see front bumpers messed up. I see rear bumpers messed up. I see everyone doing everything they can to try to make it through. And Lozano in the lead with Victor Miranda in a P2 very furiously trying to go forward. And Lapinda there now into P2 up 24 places. Very impressive, and that actually might be a timing error. I'm not for sure. You see Lapinda is now dropping down the grid. But either way, lap 1 survived. Lozano's through. Miranda's P2. There's a bit of action back on the screen behind. And Marco, what a first lap.
Yes, look at the front end of, I think that's Gustavo Ariel car, and he's dropping now down to 7. Big damage on his radical. Mauricio Lozano is leading the way by 2.8 seconds over Victor Miranda, who is up 13 places. He has been able to avoid the chaos beautifully, and so did his teammate Jackson Hasenji, who's going on the inside of Pushkal to get up into third himself. As we see drivers, I said this in the opening, this car is unforgiving. I should have added more so than usual on cold tires. And remember, we only had basically 2 corners of pacing, so no time to get this tires into anything resembling working conditions. So the drivers paid a heavy price in the first lap.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing too, is again, it's the skill of survival, and it's knowing those cold tires, and it's knowing just what you can get away with here. As we see Victor Miranda in P2, Gaston Kohlhavi in 5th place is doing very, very well. So hold on, Elise in P6, Ariel in P7, Fabulous Fabio is in P8, and all these drivers are just doing their best to go through. We see a lot of the big AMX names up near the front because they understand the skill of survival that it takes to go through. And look at that, there's a 1-second pace difference between Lozano and Victor Miranda. So just breathe, guys. It's lap 3 of 8. We've got plenty of time to go through, and I know you're telling a racing driver to breathe. That doesn't actually happen, as you and me both know, Marco. And now look at this. Gus, as his nickname is here in the number 21, is absolutely pushing, trying to make things through and do the absolute best that he can. Take that real life knowledge, throw it into the sim, and send it forward, and is doing a very good job of holding off a fast Gaston Kohlhavi in the background.
Almost at the halfway point already of this first race here from Hockenheim. Remember, after this one we have another one, then a small break, and then we'll be racing MX-5s around Silverstone National. So a very club racing kind of evening here on AMX. I like this sort of team days we have here, and still everything to play for. As you were saying correctly, Brad, we have Mauricio Lozano losing big time to Victor Miranda and all the chasing pack, so we might have a very different looking podium, provisional podium I should say, in the next few laps or so. as we go across the start-finish line. Once again, Victor Miranda is doing this for the past few laps, consistently the fastest lap of the race once again. So now the gap is down to 1 second. Of course, let's not forget we have bonus points, aka bonus money, also for the fastest lap of the race. So every driver, even those who crash early, have all the incentive of getting that fast repair, getting the car back in shape, and try to squeeze out something out of what would be otherwise a difficult race. Gustavo Ariel is unfortunately dropping positions, now down to 8th place. So some big damage to his car, but he's trying to hold on as we are, right now at the halfway point of the race.
Halfway point of the race here, and Victor Miranda is putting a lot of pressure on Lozano to keep things forward. And look at Victor Miranda there. He's just nice and comfortable. He's running his own race. He knows he's got the pace, and it's just a matter of when will he get this pass done in his eyes. It's just when, and as he is trying, he's just holding on here little by little. You can see just how close he's getting to the back here of Lozano, and Lozano doing a very, very good job of trying to keep Victor Miranda at bay. You see positioning the car just perfectly on the apex there of the final corner, and just shutting the door anywhere that a door can be shut here on the Hockenheimring to keep that SR8 behind him that he needs to. And he's only got to do this for a few more laps here. We're on lap 5 of 8 now, but Victor Miranda is a crafty little driver going up the inside, goes around here right-hand corner, and for Lozano, his days were numbered, and Victor Miranda just goes ahead and seals it shut. And now Victor Miranda needs to run away from Jackson Sinjay as best as he can, and Jackson Sinjay needs to try to get up in the mix here a little bit faster, clear Lozano, and then try to chase after Victor Miranda. But Lozano is looking at having a bit of a fight back. You see a swerve there to the inside, comes back to the outside. We're 3 wide in the background as we go through, because there is Elisiu getting past Gus up the inside, and maybe some contact through Marco.
Yeah, I think definitely Sokota Gumushkal was forced to make a little bit of a wider line after the collision there at the hairpin. Again, very difficult to get it right. By the way, we have a big fight here. I was about to say that we were having a good run from An Jong-min, but unfortunately, he just lost 2 or 3 positions just as I was about to say it. So I don't know if it counts as a commentator curse or not.
I had this conversation with a friend the other day that commentator curses aren't real. It's just a coincidence when we say something and it happens. However, I'm going to say maybe a small commentator curse, Marco. We'll forgive you for it, though. I'll tell you who won't forgive something is Elisiu if he doesn't get past Gaston Kohlhavi here within these next 2 laps that we have to run. We're lap 6 of 8 here. You can see the pace difference is catastrophic in some areas. Lozano 2 seconds slower than Kohlhavi on that last lap, and Elisiu just a little bit faster than Kohlhavi. So the pace is there, but for Elisiu, it's just a matter of settling in, keeping things moving, and doing the best he can. Victor Miranda has just said goodbye, sayonara, adios, and is sailing away up front against Jackson Sinjay. But the battles are going to get very, very fierce here into the dying stages. And again, this is just heat 1. We invert the grid. We do another 8 laps after this, Marco. So as a driver, what is your goal right now? You know you're going to invert here in just a second. How hard are you willing to push at this point to try to make the most money you can?
I think, given the nature of this race, it seems to me like these drivers came onto the racetrack with very little, restraint. So I think they are going for it. They see that the lap counter will very soon only show 2 laps to go, because we are basically getting very, very close to Victor Miranda getting the 2 laps to go signal. So, I mean, if I'm one of them, it's easy to say it from here, but, usually we say from here that the drivers have to be patient. If I'm one of them, right now, I would just go for it. I mean, it's been one of those races. There are lots of displaced drivers up and down the grid. So, boy!
Oh, man. We've spent so much time talking about Gus, and he spins through. He's now down into P13, but he's going to get back going very, very quickly. And again, good lap times through before that spin. Is going to recover, and again, The benefit in his situation is inverted grid will put him back towards the front at the start of Heat 2. And let's give a quick shout out to Nico Godoy, who's worked his way up into P14 at the moment. Good moves from Nico Godoy. Now P15, commentator's curse, as we ride on board with Elysiu, who's still trying to chase down Gaston Kohlhabi. Lap 7 of 8 here, Marco, and what can we do?
Well, we can look at all these battles, and you were talking about Nico, who's now defending for his life with Josh Berwin for that all-important 15th place reverse grid call for race number 2. It's going to go down to the wire that as well. Of course, Nico Godoy now summer almost in Argentina, and so he's not wearing his trademark hats, which I hope that will make a return very, very soon. William Baraviera is looking to get past the wounded car of Gustavo Ariel, as unfortunately An is dropping down to 12th place, still looking good for reverse, hopefully, as the white flag comes out.
Oh! White flag. Oh, man. Oh, drivers, 1 lap to go. Let's breathe. Let's make it through to the end, please. At least that's what I want to tell them. I know none of them will listen to me, but hey, Marco, I can try, right?
Absolutely. That's the best we can do, Mattia.
Oh, drivers are trying to go through. Lozano here in 3rd place is trying to chase back down Jackson Resenje, find a little bit of pace to go back in and try again here, and is doing a fairly good job of it, as we see Jackson Resenje 2.8 seconds off of Victor Miranda. Victor Miranda, you can see cool, calm, and collected here through the final lap. You can see nice and relaxed, probably talking to his Tony Kanaan teammates and saying, haha, look at me, I'm in the lead, where are you all at? As he comes around the final couple of corners. And I know Victor Miranda wouldn't say that, but Tony Kanaan and the Texaco boys have told us that they like to banter back and forth in Discord a bit. So it's possible he's saying that, but as he comes through the Mobil 1 corner here in the Hockenheim ring, the Mobil 1 curve, I apologize, and he's going to come around the